Hey guys, how you doing? It's Kim here from ZK Day with the PR Genius. We're here to interview Vignesh, General Manager at EigenCloud. So Vignesh just got off the stage right now. Where did you fly from?
I flew in from Seattle. It was a pretty long flight, over 20 hours.
Okay, amazing, amazing. Well, give us a quick introduction about who you are and what you do, and then we'll just deep dive into EigenCloud and so on.
Yeah, so I'm Vignesh. I'm the General Manager for the Eigen Compute team. And basically you can think about Eigen Compute as giving smart contract properties to Docker containers. So as General Manager, basically I lead the product, the engineering and the sales to make sure that we build a product that people actually want to use.
Awesome. Well, what's the difference between EigenCloud and EigenLayer in terms of positioning? Because people might get mixed up with that. I mean, it's clearly two different entities and so on.
Right. So the way I think about this is EigenLayer was the idea that you could take stake and you could use it to secure other workloads. Mm-hmm. And we've had many different AVSs launched with that paradigm. But one thing that we sort of started to realize at EigenLayer was that it was very complex for a lot of builders to get started on EigenLayer. You had to learn how to build an AVS, you had to learn how to do all this deep crypto knowledge. And so what we wanted to do with EigenCloud was make it so that someone who just had Web 2 development knowledge could come in and build an app that can benefit from the EigenLayer stake, but have it be a verifiable app. And so the EigenCloud with Eigen Compute and Eigen AI, the idea is to, basically if you think about Eigen Compute, you can just take a Docker container, which is any Web 2 app. We actually have Web 2 games and stuff deploying in there. Yeah. You can just upload it, and in about 5 minutes it's running in the EigenCloud. But you get these blockchain-based smart contract guarantees. And Eigen AI, on the surface, it looks just like the OpenAI API spec. So if you've ever used that as a Web 2 developer, you can just start hitting it. You just kind of swap out the endpoint. The difference is you get the verifiability properties, it's deterministic, there'll be slashing eventually for incorrect execution. And so the idea was for a lot of use cases that are building on the EigenLayer, we can't get a Web 2 developer to come in and learn all these things. Instead, we just say hey, take your existing agent or your existing app, update a few config values, and deploy to EigenCloud.
Okay, cool. So you guys just mentioned that you guys are developing Eigen Compute and Eigen AI.
Yeah.
At the moment, there's a lot of talk about AI agents, working on different financial models. How does that work when it comes to differentiating verifiable trust on TEs?
Yeah, so the way I like to think about this in terms of AI agents and what EigenCloud, our goal is here, is we're trying to give the agent similar properties and guarantees to a smart contract. And so T's give you some of that, but not all of that. So what we use the T for is you can prove with verifiable bills that this particular code is running on this particular box with this particular Docker image. But let's say I put $100 million there. Well, someone can come in and update that code and steal all my money. So or they can turn off the box and ask you to pay $20 million to get your money back, right? So one of the really big guarantees that we're using the EigenLayer stake for is basically liveness, which says that if you turn off the box, it'll cause slashing, which means that you can't do that thing. You can't just turn off and keep the $100 million locked up. And it also enables us to have this upgrade delay where if you don't give your user the 7 days that they expect in a blockchain smart contract to be able to pull out their assets, then they can also be slashed. And then that gives us, we were going to use that and later on build this thing which will be forced inclusion, which is the uncensorship resistant property of the blockchain, which is that even you on a blockchain, if you have a smart contract, you can't tell a user, hey, you can't pull your money out. Whereas in Web 2, they could do that at any time. And so with the upgrade delay plus the liveness slashing, we and EigenLayer stake, we'll set it up so that you can force include certain calls to the agent, pull my money out or delete my data. Oh, cool. And then that I think gives it so that the agent actually has these properties of a smart contract, which makes it, to me, much more easy to trust the agent.
Yeah. How does that work from a go-to-market perspective in terms of mainstream adoption, for example?
Yeah, so a couple of things that we're trying to change here is one, we think there's a lot of awesome things here with a lot of stuff people are doing in crypto, right? Trading agents I think are super interesting, right? There's this guy, Vignesh at Eigen, he's 17, and when he was 13, he got $7 million in his DeFi contract. And I think that like most people wouldn't put $7 million into some random middle-class Indian kids like Web 2 app, but they will for Web 3 if it's a good app, right? And so that's where I think with like the contracts and the trading agents, right? If it's running an EigenCloud and you're a random kid somewhere in the world, or you don't have you're not Google, people will be willing or more willing to put the money in the agent with these smart contract like guarantees. And so I think that's a pretty powerful thing for the builders out there. And then the other thing we think too is one, there's a ton of uses, but we really think that some of these guarantees are also valuable even in Web 2. Like let's say I wanted to give an agent my private healthcare data. Like I put my data, my DNA data in 23andMe, right? I don't get any of these guarantees that the agent isn't gonna steal my DNA data and stuff like that, right? But if it was an EigenCloud, I could have this upgrade delay and the forced inclusion. So if I saw that they were updating the agent to steal my data, someone would probably flag it on X, I don't have to be watching it every day, then I could just delete my data. And then that would make it way easier for me to trust in a healthcare agent.
Okay. Talking about builders, right there, you built SDKs when you were at Coinbase for Web 2 builders. How's that different to building for EigenCloud in general, for building EigenCloud?
Yeah, and I built for Web 2. I worked at Microsoft. When I built for Web 3, I worked at Coinbase. The way I see it is ultimately we have to remove as much thinking as possible from the builder experience. So in some ways I see it as the same. In the end, to get people to be able to do more and build more, you have to just make it as easy as possible for as many people as possible to build the apps. And it's really about removing steps. It's about making sure that things are cohesive and understandable, and that really as a developer, I can feel productive in the first 5 minutes, not the first 5 months.
Yeah.
Right.
That makes sense. And then talking about that, this is again the subject about EigenCloud in general and EigenLayer, but in general, Eigen has been 65% down from TVL from all-time highs, and the November unlocks added pressure to that in general. How do you balance long-term infrastructure and addressing tokenomics concerns from restakers that are basically securing IBSs?
Yeah, so the way I think about from the restaker perspective is that the EigenCloud is going to open up more and more demand for the stake. So the idea is when we talk about live mesh slashing and upgrade delays, the application builder will have to pay for the stake that secures their app. So let's say I have an agent, right? I could pay for $1 of stake, or I could pay for $100 million of stake, right? And then my user will have a place for the user to see that. It'll be in our verifiability dashboard, and the user can see how much stake backs the app. And so then that kind of creates this demand for the stake, basically. It's if you have an app with a lot of money, your users might not be comfortable with $1 of stake backing it.
Okay, perfect. Last question is, what is it in 2026 for EigenCloud? And where do you see things going next year?
Yeah, I think what we're trying to get to next year and for EigenCloud in 2026 is first, we're going to get our Eigen Compute and Eigen AI to a mainnet GA, which means that we have audited all of these abilities to give these smart contract level guarantees.
Okay.
And then I think we're actually already seeing quite a bit of adoption. We've had 100,000 vCPU hours consumed. We see people organically coming and paying for this on Stripe, and also paying for Eigen AI, or signing up to pay for that, which is a great sign, I think, in the Web3 space. And we're basically going to just take that more and more to market, get more and more builders playing here. And also we're going to think pretty hard about Web 2, because we actually have a Web 2 game that's trying to run on EigenCloud. They wanted to, the creator of that game found it difficult for people to trust him with even $100 to run a tournament. And so we compare that to Vignesh with the 7 million. That's where some of this verifiability guarantees comes in, where it's hey, if I don't actually custody it, it's in this box that talks here. That's great. And we're kind of obfuscating all of the Web 3 elements. You log in with Privy, you can on-ramp with debit card. And so that's kind of where he's getting some of the value.
Okay, awesome. Great. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Yeah, we will be broadcasting this very soon and wish you the best luck at the conference.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Perfect.